Today is June the 28th. This is like the third time we've tried to start this and we keep getting the date wrong. So it is Thursday, June the 28th. Alright? So we're going to do show number 22. We had mentioned yesterday that we might get a late start today. We ended up getting a pretty early start, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so
we got everything done.
Yeah, we got everything done early and we were really excited about coming back and doing our 22nd show. We listened to some good streams of tennis news today and had some nice comments, and also had some interesting takes from others. And so I'm pretty excited, right?
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to start.
Yeah. Wimbledon draws come out tomorrow, by the way. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, we're going to start the show off with a big thank you for watching in the comments. And for subscribing. It's been fun for us. We enjoy doing it, and we hope to do it much longer. So we'll see where this journey takes us. Again, we're having fun and trying to figure out if we could get to 100 subscribers just for giggles, and we got there relatively quickly.
Yes. So
we're gonna see if we can keep pushing forward. So we'll keep it on. In the meantime, hope you enjoy the show. All right, so jumping into tennis news. First of all, what we decided we were going to do is come up with a question to involve all of you in, I guess, our thought process. So we came up with the question, and we want to hear your comments and your feedback. And that question is, viewer feedback question number 1, okay? The top 5 things to never do while you're on a tennis court. Okay?
I can think of many.
Alright, so I'm going to let you read the 5 things. I'm checking the camera, but we're going to let you read the 5 things.
Well, the first thing that we have is when a tennis player is holding the racket the wrong way. Now, what do we mean by this?
Well, I guess if I am watching a couple of people or anybody on a tennis court, whether it's in a recreational setting, whether it's in a league setting, whether it's in a tournament setting, whether it's at the pro level, if I see someone carrying their tennis racket head down and they're playing hand by the grip, dragging it around like an upside down lollipop, I think it looks awful. So I'm going to put my number 1 thing is by never, the number 1 thing not to do is to hold your tennis racket like a slouch on the tennis court. Hold it right, the non-playing hand head up.
Yeah, I've seen, and our kids are guilty of this. Sometimes leaning on your racket, you're like resting on it. You know, I've seen some people spin it, or they'll hold it by the V and
flip it around their finger,
tossing it up,
doing the old flipperoo.
Yeah, a racket, the grip needs to be
dry,
and then aren't you scared of your racket cracking if it lands and you can't catch it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but with the 2 of us and 5 kids, we really cherish our rackets. So if my racket hits the ground, I'm trying to make sure it didn't get scuffed too bad, and with the kids even more so. So number 1, racket position and how you carry it. What's number 2?
Your conduct, and this could be a lot of things.
What do you say, court conduct?
Court conduct, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I see a lot of players to say, oh my God, they're like blaming, a lot of stuff on.
Oh, like the bounce,
God.
The bounce of the court,
yeah.
or the trajectory of the sun as they cross the path of impact, or
yeah.
Court conduct was the second thing. Here's an example from me. Like she just mentioned, like, oh no, I can't. How did that happen? Oh, it's kind of awful to see someone kind of flip out, I guess you could say, over some trivial things. If it's $1 million match, I could take it into consideration. But court conduct, I think, is rather imperative. So when I'm watching someone play tennis, I don't want to see someone just griping and moaning and their body language looks like they don't want to be there, or they're about to hurt somebody, or whatever it may be. But when I see someone with bad court conduct, yeah, it's really not fun.
And there's a long list of it. We can go on forever about that, but that would be the main thing. Yes.
Yeah, court conduct overall number 2. So what's number 3?
Bad line calls, cheating. Oh God, you see this in a lot of junior tennis.
Yeah.
Some of the matches I've seen my kids play, I just have to walk away.
Yeah, so bad line calls is number 3. Bad line calls, it's something awful, in my opinion. We play a lot of junior tournaments with our kids in high school tennis, and it is shocking the amount of 1 foot in balls that are called out when the times get close. And even furthermore, the problem for me is that if it was my son or daughter that made that bad line call, I would shout through the fence, "That was in, you're going to give him the point, or I'm going to pull you off the court."
Yeah, or the other thing that I find a lot of people and kids do is they don't even say if it's out or in, and then just walk, you know, to the next, whatever, next point,
yeah.
next side. I mean, and then the player's asking, was that in or was it out, you know?
Well, I think what perturbs me the worst about bad line calls at that level is when the other parent is sitting right next to you. They know as well as you do that it was like 7 feet out, but because it's their kid, they have too much pride to say to their own kid, as I would tell mine, "That was in, correct that call." And it just creates a cycle of bad line calls. And for me, who needs it? Ridiculous. So yeah, that to me should be up number 1. Thank you for writing that in. Good one. Bad line calls, awful. Don't do it.
We got number 4 as the way you dress, present yourself, and walk on the tennis court. Some people don't come dressed as they're going to play tennis. They look like they're going, I don't know, to the beach.
Yeah, they got the flip-flops on with like a tank top and like some cut-off jean shorts. And then they come out and really just kind of make it look like you're playing hopscotch. No disrespect to that. Glad that people come out and get on the courts and play around and so forth. But if you're a tennis player, and that's what this list is about, what not to do on a tennis court, don't show up to the tennis court in a tank top or no shirt or cut-off jeans. It's really kind of just an odd thing to see, right?
Yeah, I saw one high school match that the kids had, and one of the girls had high heels on.
Ooh.
I was like, wow, poor court. I said, how is she going to run?
How was her footwork?
So she took off her shoes and she played barefoot.
Okay. I think that's the first time I've heard of high heel tennis.
I've seen flip-flops, sandals. Yeah, I've seen a lot.
Okay. So hopefully their toes are still healthy. All right, so what's the last one?
Don't blame your equipment.
Oh, yeah, the old equipment trick.
Yes.
Man, I had that shot lined up. I hit it perfectly, but this new grip. I just put this grip on, slid in my hand. Can you give me another example?
This racket, my racket, the strings are like, I hear it a lot. The strings, they're not good. They're not playing the way they're supposed to.
I just had that easy volley. If it wasn't for my strings, I would have made it. I just had it strung.
Or how about, I'm not wearing a hat, so I can't see when I serve.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. But at the same time, I think we should kind of give it a quick head look to see. The sun is kind of a nuisance at times, but yeah, good excuse. Let's say with another one. Oh, usually my footwork is spot on that recovery, and I didn't get back enough because of my shoes. The tackiness on the bottom hasn't smoothed out yet.
What about the vibration dampener?
The dampener's a good one.
I've heard that a lot too.
You can get the dampener both ways. You can hit a shot and shoot it over the fence. You can say, man, to your opponent that you've never met, you're trying to show off for, you've talked so much smack about it. Oh, it hit the dampener. Or 2, you can say, I didn't have a dampener, and therefore it vibrated through my arm, and thus I hit it out.
Yeah.
Don't blame the equipment. So that is our kind of top 5 question. I have to check this camera again because we don't have anybody to help us. So it's just a tripod and us, and if we're 25 minutes in and we realize that it stopped at 10 minutes, it's a bad deal. So I apologize to keep getting up. All right, so right into tennis news. We try to keep these shows around 30 minutes. My phone zonks out at 35, and it's hot, so we're going to get through this. Today, tennis news. Serena did not give up a drug test. I'm going to go ahead and chime right in on that. I don't blame her. She's probably breastfeeding. She's fixing to play Wimbledon. She's been drug tested probably a gazillion times this week, much less in the past couple of weeks. I think actually we looked that up, and she's had a couple.
She's had 5 tests already in 2018. On June 14th, supposedly they went to her residence in Florida, and they tried to give her a test, and she did not let them do it. First of all, she's breastfeeding her child.
Give her a break.
Any mother knows that when you're breastfeeding your child, if you're taking any type of drug,
It's going to hurt your child.
It's going to pass on through the milk.
She breastfed 5. She's speaking the truth. Breastfed 5.
So I don't think she's hiding anything. And usually they don't test most players, but less than 5 times a year.
A year. She said
let alone 5 times already. Here we are in June. So, and 2, this information shouldn't have leaked out, but you know how we always have big mouths out there in the world. It leaked out. So I don't blame her for being very upset at this.
Yeah, I'm totally with Serena on this one. Totally with Serena. Leave the lady, the woman alone, okay? You drug tested her enough. She's won 23 majors. Why do you keep trying to dig up dirt on the girl? Just come on already, man. Accept that she's a beast. And understand that she is the best of all time, and there's nothing that you're going to muster up, so give it a rest. Just leave Serena alone. I don't want to talk anymore about it.
They should have a rule, though. Like they said, they don't test them. They test them less than 5 times a year. There should be a rule for everyone. I mean, you shouldn't just pop up at anyone's house.
Yeah, there's nothing that anyone can do at this point in time. You're not going to take anything away from Serena no matter what. She's been a class act for a long time. She just had a baby. She's married now. It doesn't matter if she doesn't win another match, in my opinion. No one touches Serena, and I agree with you, Serena, on this one. Enough is enough. You're going to come to my house, wherever I am, for the 5th time, and everyone else on tour may not have even been visited yet. Come on, man. I agree with Serena, right?
Definitely.
Go, Serena. Go, girl. All right. So today I read an article, and I'll reference John McEnroe in this one, and I agree with McEnroe, where he indicated where Djokovic is close to being back where he was before, but he just didn't see the fire in his eyes anymore. I agree with McEnroe on this one. He said it much better than I've said it. I've talked about Djokovic for the past couple of weeks where he could win this tournament. Off the camera, I always tell her it just seems like he's still not quite that player yet. She says the same thing. I think McEnroe said it best today. I don't see that fire, that hunger that we saw before, right?
Well, it's kind of. I mean, I agree with McEnroe. It's kind of hard to be hungry again after everything he's done. It takes a lot to be at the top of tennis. And he's still got 2 people that are in his way all the time. It's Nadal and Federer. And he's going to really have to work hard. I mean, I'm glad he brought his old crew back, but I don't see that hunger in him. I mean, he has 2 kids now. I hope he wins another Grand Slam, but it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. And again, I'm referencing McEnroe here, and he said it beautifully. I don't see the fire. I still have him being a heavy favorite, at least in my own mind, to go deep into Wimbledon. Federer looks vulnerable. It's not Nadal's best surface. I think Djokovic at 95% can win this. So we're going to move forward. A quick Denis Shapovalov discussion. I'm going to let her start out with the Shapovalov discussion. He lost today to, was it Zverev? Misha Zverev?
Yes.
So she has long forecasted Shapovalov to be the next #1 in the world, and we keep reading it today twice. I disagree totally. Build me a case. You build me a case.
First we have Rod Laver, who is a tennis legend, say that he sees Shapovalov the next to be one of the best in the future. I mean, he says right now it's Zverev and Thiem that are going to make more noise because they're a little bit older and their tennis is a little bit better than Shapovalov, but he sees a lot of spunk in Shapovalov. He loves his fire, his serve, his forehand, his backhand might need a little work. And even John McEnroe said the same thing, that he's really impressed by this young Canadian player and he sees him being at the top of tennis in the future. So how can these 2 legends be wrong, Justin?
Look, this is just a personal preference, or not a preference, but a personal thought. Obviously, the likes of Lavers and the McEnroes and all the others commenting are much more credible than I. First and foremost, I'm just another opinion, and these guys have won majors by the handfuls, so much respect to them. My problem, though, as a coach, and one that has hit a one-hander, as these guys did, Laver and Johnny Mac and Shapovalov. Mm-hmm. All of them hit a one-hander. But doesn't anybody see when he hits this one-hander that he tends to hit it and flops open? In other words, he doesn't get sideways and drive through the ball. He tends to hit it and then flop wide open. This is the #1 thing I try to tell my kids not to do. Point of impact, hold it as long as you can, keep your racket up an imaginary line as long as you can, and then, of course, follow through, finish your shot. Shapovalov hits, flops open, hits, flops open. I don't see that being favorable for him moving forward if he doesn't fix it, in my coaching opinion. I think he's always going to be suspect on his backhand wing. And I think if you are suspect on your backhand wing, unless you are Federer, who overcame that with Nadal, and Nadal knew it and has exposed it until this very day.
But it took years for Federer to fix that. So what makes you think that Shapovalov can't fix that? Even with that problem that he has, it's a very powerful stroke. I mean, he can whack the crap out of that ball.
Does anyone think maybe him not bouncing the ball in between his legs on every serve, if he stopped doing that, maybe he could focus more on the serve? Because that's really annoying.
Justin, that's his style.
Bounce ball.
It's annoying seeing someone pick their butt.
Agreed.
It's annoying for someone to bounce the ball 20 times. I mean, everyone had their little things. Steffi Graf would always, before she started, she would go, and Federer always flicks here, his hair. Everyone has their own style.
So, I don't know. I feel like the whole Shapovalov #1 in the world pick one day is premature, #1. I think it's a way to sell more tickets on whether it's television or media or sponsors. I think he's Nike, and I think he plays with a Yonex stick. Does he play Yonex?
Yonex, yeah.
Are you sure he's Yonex?
I'm pretty sure he is.
I'm pretty sure he's Yonex. So I think all of it sells more tickets by these deep companies, and it's nice to feed the anchors a couple statements. Make sure you talk about him today because we're having a Nike commercial. I mean, I've been around this stuff, and I don't see Shapovalov as being a threat in the future. I see him being like an Alexander Dolgopolov, maybe a little bit better, or at best at Dimitrov's level, 5, 6 in the world. But #1, I don't see it.
Well, John McEnroe did also say that he does not see Alexander Zverev or Thiem winning this Wimbledon. That they still need some time before they can win a Wimbledon.
All right, well, we're going to keep pushing forward. There was another comment out today about Roger Federer being a risky pick to win Wimbledon. Still kind of the favorite to win it because he took time off. We spoke about this 2 weeks ago. I think you can check out the first 1 or 2 videos. I agree with it being risky. If I had a choice to bet, $50 on a tennis match, and I had to choose who won this year, I don't know if I would take Roger. I just don't know if I can do it because of that 2 months off. And I think it was even McEnroe that mentioned it was risky to do it 2 years in a row. Today, again, we mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, and I agreed. I think it's risky. If I had to bet the farm on somebody, I think I would rather bet it on Nadal, Djokovic, or someone along those lines. I don't know. Federer seems vulnerable going 3 sets in a couple of matches. Lost to, who did he lose to? Koric. Went 3 with Misha Zverev. Went 3 with Edmund, I think, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Anyway, so he's looked vulnerable to me, and we've talked about it.
No, he went with Pierre.
All right, so moving forward, another news note. 16-year-old Ukrainian girl. 16, like Capriati was 16.
She just turned 16 this Thursday. She turned 16 years old, and she won her... She qualified for Wimbledon.
Yeah, she qualified for Wimbledon. She beat a U.S. player, Christy On, 9-7 in the 3rd set.
Yes.
Amazing for a 16-year-old to have that mental capacity to fight to 9-7 in the 3rd against an American player that's been around for a little while.
Yeah, she's in her she's in her late 20s, so she's a veteran. She's been, in the tennis world, just hasn't done much. She was a collegiate player as well.
Yeah, and lo and behold, at this match's completion, this girl, her last name is Kontyuk, Kontyuk, 16-year-old Ukrainian, good for you. She finished off the 9-7 win with a backflip. Cool backflip, but please don't do that again because you're really asking for a major injury, neck, knee, coming down wrong. I wouldn't do that again. You might ruin your career.
We've seen some ugly things happen with backflips. I wouldn't recommend that either.
Yeah, there's some backflip injuries that I've been around, whether it's on diving boards, off rope swings, off piers. I've seen broken wrists. I've seen broken ankles. I've seen some pretty grotesque injuries by doing backflips. So stay away from the backflips. You'll be better off, and I think you'd be better off in like a moped than doing a backflip. So good for you, 16 qualify, no backflips anymore. All right, moving forward. Who are your favorites? You know who our favorites are if you've been following us. Who are your favorites? We'd love to hear it. Who are your favorites for this Wimbledon? Who do you think has a chance? Who are some people that we're not talking about that you think has a chance? Where are we wrong? Who are your favorites? We'd love to hear it. So open the discussion on comments. We'd love to correspond. We want to start incorporating that into our broadcast. Bernard Tomic, the Australian, missed the Wimbledon draw for the first time since 2009. I hate to say it. I was hoping for Tomic. Were you?
I was hoping for him to push through. I mean, from what I read, he was not feeling well from the beginning of the match. So a doctor came out, gave him some pills, and it still didn't help him. He felt like throwing up, and he probably ran out of gas. He wasn't, because he wasn't feeling well.
Yeah. Again, Tomic, to me, he went through some of the same antics that Kyrgios is going through, and I watched Tomic since the beginning of this year, and I think Tomic is on his way back. Bernard, if somehow you ever see this, do not let this missing the Wimbledon draw spoil your return to get your grace back. You've been a good player for a long time. Hey, we're all young. We all do stupid things. We all say things we don't mean. The way I saw you play this past week's tournament and here, I think you're on the right track. Don't let this deviate you from your corrected course. Don't go back to Kyrgios's whatever. You be Tomic now. You can get back to the top 20 in the world. I'm not saying you'll be top 10, but you could be top 20 if you work.
I think, yeah, he should keep pushing. I mean, he shouldn't let this, just hold him back.
Good job, Tomic. Don't give up. Bouchard gets in. I've been talking about Bouchard with her for years. And finally, I'm getting some momentum here for her to see. But Bouchard made a Wimbledon final. We discussed this. She won her third qualifying match today. She's in.
Good for her. I still don't expect much at Wimbledon. But if she does, I mean, she'll prove me wrong and a lot of other people wrong.
Go Bouchard. Two brothers, Americans, Ryan Harrison and his brother Christian Harrison. Christian Harrison made it through qualifying today. Good for you, U.S. player, and the younger brother of Ryan Harrison, who will be in the draw because he's in the top 128. Good job, brothers.
Always good to see siblings in the drawers.
Pulling for you. Work hard. All right? I think it's going to be a rough go for both of you, but believe me, I'm pulling for you. Yeah. All right. So Andy Murray keeps his plans kind of hush if he's playing Wimbledon. I can promise you he's going to play Wimbledon. He'll go in unseeded. For me, I think I'm pretty much at a toss-up between him and two other players for my potential unseeded player that can make noise at Wimbledon. But I know they're saying he's not sure what he's going to do. I guarantee you he plays.
I think he'll play too. I mean, why not? He's won it 2 times. I mean, he can do some damage.
He can win the thing.
Yeah,
he never know. You never know. Cinderella story.
I mean, didn't Goran Ivanisevic win Wimbledon as an unseeded player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Old school.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Journeyman. Okay, so nice sportsmanship today from Nadal. I know we've had a lot of bickering between some of the women on Serena's seeding. Well, Nadal is #1 in the world. I know Federer won it last year. So Federer is the 1 seed this year at Wimbledon. The media asked Nadal about that. I guess people expected, oh yeah, I should have had that. Lest we forget, I think they're very close friends. And Nadal's response was, he deserves it. He is the best of all time. That, I think, is a championship statement from a championship player. So in other words, Nadal and Federer are arguably the best of all time. I guess the media was looking for some hostile response, and he simply said he is the best of all time. He deserves it. Really good job, Nadal.
Well, he also did say that he lost to Muller last year and Federer won it, so why would they not give him the #1 seeding? So yeah, Federer does deserve to be #1.
All right, so we're going to jump into some quick scores from today. We have the qualifications or the qualies at Wimbledon. We had Vera Zvonareva, the veteran that beat Dolhide, the U.S. player, to get in Wimbledon. Good for her, veteran. Unseeded.
Yes, I'm thinking of picking her as one of my unseeded, but we'll see.
We'll see. So Lautner, the German girl, wins again. She's in. She's been talking about Lautner. Good call.
Yeah, I mean, good for her on her win to get into the main draw. We'll see what kind of damage she can do, but she's still not a name I'm going to pick.
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving forward quickly. Again, we're running into a time constraint because of the 33-minute deadline here. So we're going to try to get it in so we don't have to do 2 shows. An American Liu, L-I-U, qualified. So good for the U.S. player. Never heard of her. Hope she does well. I think she beat another American player in the qualies to get in.
She did. Good for her.
All right, again, we've discussed Eugenie Bouchard is in. I'm rooting for you. We've already discussed Eugenie, but she won today. Men's qualifications. A Stanford player here, U.S. player. He's 27 years of age, and his last name is Klahn, K-L-A-H-N, qualified for the main draw.
Go USA.
Good job, man. Keep up the work. Keep up the work. Look, it's hot here today. I don't know if you know it, but it's like 104 heat index. We're in the shade, so it feels like it's about 90, sweat dripping. But, man, I tell you what. Good job, Klahn. Let's go. All right, Gulbis, Ernestus Gulbis, longtime veteran. She used to be a Gulbis fan. What happened?
His antics on the court, they got to me when he played Nadal. I can't.
So Gulbis is no different than Kyrgios or
well, he's not
Tomic?
he's not as disgusting as Kyrgios. So
yeah, Gulbis is.
I've never seen him do stupid gestures. So.
I think I've seen him break a few rackets though, right?
Man, I've seen Wawrinka break a few rackets and amongst other players. So.
All right, well, Gulbis qualified. Good for him, veteran player. Obviously, he's not going to be on my team, but I wish him well. He's capable of winning a few rounds.
Definitely.
The player that beat Federer not terribly long ago, I think it was at Indian Wells or somewhere, Kokonakis, the Australian, lost today and won't make the main draw. Wimbledon, Federer, I wish you had that match back.
That's a little shocker because they were talking about him years ago. You know, of him being the next big thing, too. You know, in the top 20. It's a shame to see him not qualify.
How quickly it changes. Eastbourne women. Today we had Kerber that took out Kazatkina in 3 sets. 6-1, 6-7, 7-6. Tight match. Doesn't change my mind about anything. They are both contenders at Wimbledon.
They're both in my draw. My pick.
Wozniacki took out Barty today. I think it was 3-4.
Yeah.
Good for Wozniacki. She's someone to watch at Wimbledon.
Yeah, I think I just added her because of that.
I've been talking about another girl from Belarus, Sabalenka, not Azarenka, but Sabalenka. She took out Pliskova today. Carolina, the higher seeded of the two sisters, in 3 sets. She could be, and very well may be, my unseeded player that may make some noise in Wimbledon.
I can't believe Pliskova. I mean, she was going from a hot year last year to a very bad year.
So we'll see how that pans out. Radwanska today, big match. Obviously didn't have any coverage. Beat Ostapenko routinely. Go Radwanska. You might be in my draw.
Like I said, I didn't know about Ostapenko until last year at French Open.
2 interesting players for this Wimbledon. Ostapenko's still a little young, I think, for this surface. I looked it up, she made a 3rd or 4th round here in like 2015, the same year that she won the French. Radwanska, I think, been in a final.
Yes.
Eastbourne men's, we had Kukushkin that beat Edmund in 3 sets. Kukushkin could now be my unseeded player and remove Kachanov and put in Kukushkin, possibly.
Now for me, Edmund will still be in my bracket.
Alright, I'm burning through this because of time. Misha Zverev took out her boy, future #1 in the world, Shapovalov, in 3 sets. How does your future #1 in the world lose to Misha Zverev in 3 sets?
Well, he's very good at grass, and he's still learning how to play in grass. So you can move on to the next match.
She's right. Zverev's a great serving volleyer. He fits the surface perfectly. Zverev could very well be an unseeded on my player on my draft as well. Cecchinato takes out Millman. The semi-finalist from France
Good for him.
Against the
Millman.
Australian?
I'm not sure.
Australian or British? I think he's Australian. Lewis Lacko took out Nori today. Again, that's just a result I saw. Lewis Lacko's a decent player. I don't know much about Nori, but neither are relevant for me for Wimbledon. The Eastbourne semis for tomorrow. We have Radwanska taking on Sabalenka, big match. We have Wozniacki taking on Kerber, big match. I guarantee you we see neither or no coverage thereof. I'm hoping we have a Radwanska win and you know what?
It could be either on those.
All 4 of those are good players.
It could be either.
On the men's side of Eastbourne, Lewis Lacko plays Cecchinato, and Misha Zverev plays Kukushin. Not really much live action there for dominance at Wimbledon. I think Misha has a chance to get through a few rounds serving and volleying until he finds a maestro that might pick his passing shots apart, or pick his approaches apart and pass them by. And Kukushkin, if he beats Zverev, he might be my unseeded player. Notable score from Turkey. I like Gael Monfils a lot. He won today in 3 sets against Garcia Lopez in Turkey. He could be an unseeded player, but I think with Misha Zverev, Kukushkin, Kachanov out there, I don't think I might hang on to Monfils.
There's just a lot of good unseeded players this year, Justin. I mean, I'm not sure about Monfils, honestly. I don't think he's a safe pick.
I agree with that totally. All right, so we're on the 3 minutes and counting deadline. So it's pretty quiet here in Turkey. Monfils plays Manarino tomorrow in a semi, and Dzumhur, D-Z-U-M-H-U-R, plays Vesely tomorrow. Again, all of them are irrelevant for me in the second week of Wimbledon. Potentially Monfils, depending on the draw. Lastly, for final news, our fantasy team updates. If you have a team of 8 players and you have to pick 5 between 1 and 16, 2 between 17 and 32 seeds, and then 1 unseeded, I currently sit for men's and women's Federer, Cilic, Djokovic, Nadal, Kyrgios, Coric, Edmund, and Kachanov. Potentially substituting Kyrgios for Dimitrov or Raonic, potentially substituting Edmund for Pouille or Gasquet, and potentially substituting Kachanov for Monfils, Kukushkin, and Zverev. On the women's side, Kvitova, Muguruza, Venus, Wozniacki, Halep, Strykova, Serena, Stosur. However, I may substitute Kasatkina for Venus, Kerber for Wozniacki, Pliskova for Halep, Radwanska or Kontaveit for Strykova, or Sabalenka or Azarenka for Stosur, depending on how the draws unfold. Carl is rolling.
And for me, I have Federer, Nadal, Query. I'm not sure about Potro or Djokovic, and Cilic as my top 5. And then I definitely have Edmund. Shapovalov is still a question mark for me, and Kachanov. I might substitute Dimitrov for Cilic. We'll see. For women, Muguruza, Kerber, Kaskina, Wozniacki, Kvitova, Serena. It's either between Konta for me or Sharapova, and Azarenka, or I can't say her name.
Zvonareva. Vera
yes.
Zvonareva.
She might be my unseeded, so we'll see. I mean, I'm waiting to see what the draws, where they put them.
Definitely can't wait. So anyway, again, sorry to speed it up there at the end. It's a phone thing, and sometimes rolling it into longer than 33 minutes causes a big mess. So we're going to get better. Thanks so much for watching. Click a like below, subscribe below. In the meantime, prepare for Wimbledon. It's coming, and we'll see you tomorrow. And as always, Carla says,
Adios.
Adios. Have a great day. Thanks again.